Hi guys, with me I have the BenQ SW271C Photo View Monitor, a monitor designed specifically for photographers and filmmakers. I will be reviewing and going through everything there is to know about this monitor, from how to set it up, to my own user experience with it. Now I'm not the most technical person, so this won't be an overly technical review with details and numbers and whatnot. Instead, I'll be talking about my own experience with this monitor and how it has incorporated and made a difference in my day-to-day life. So let's hop into it. Starting with the unboxing, as you can see, the monitor actually comes in a huge box like this one. And unpacked, here is everything the box contains. You of course have the monitor screen, a monitor arm and a monitor base plate. You have the accessories here, cables and whatnot, and you have some components to build a hood for your monitor. Now I'll go through each part as we set up the monitor, starting of course with the screen. Like the name suggests, this screen has a screen size of 27 inches. My first impression is that it's actually rather well built from what feels like a high quality plastic, and it has a nice smooth matte finish to it. Turning it around, the first thing we can see is the monitor mount for the monitor stand, and below here we have all the ports for the cables. On this side of the monitor we also have an SD card slot up here, always an awesome feature to see for photographers, as I don't need to go through the hassle of using an SD card reader. And below that we have your two standard USB ports. And the underside of the monitor is where you can find the rest of the ports. So on the left here is the power plug, and here from left to right we have a service port, a port for the hotkey puck, HDMI 1 and 2, a display port socket, and following that a USB-C. This thing here is a headphone jack, and beside it is an upstream USB port. And if you didn't catch any of that, well, not to worry, because as you can see, there's labels and names for every port that are engraved into the monitor, just under its respective port. And lastly, for the front of the monitor, we have 6 buttons. The 5 on the left are actually control buttons, and this one over here is the power on and off. So to mount the screen, the first thing you have to do is assemble the monitor stand. And that's much easier than it sounds. So there's actually only 2 parts to it. There's the base plate and there is the monitor arm. And what you do is actually attach the monitor arm to the base plate using this mechanism here to fit into this one. So really all you have to do is fit this in here at an angle, and once it's locked in place, you just twist it until it's facing forward. And at the bottom there's actually a locking mechanism. This is the locking mechanism at the bottom here, and if you're a photographer or filmmaker, I think you'll find this very familiar because it's actually the same kind of screw you'll find on a tripod base plate. So just like a base plate, all you're doing is tightening the screw clockwise this way, and once you can't turn anymore, you just fold the lever down so everything flushes flat. And here you have your monitor stand fully assembled. So now that this is put together, all you have to do is attach the screen. So you might recall that the screen had 4 holes on the back, and it's actually to mount on these 4 metal pieces here. No tools are required, so I'm just going to take the monitor and mount it straight on like this. You actually get quite a good feel of whether they're in the right place. And there you have it. One cool feature about the monitor stand is that it allows you to adjust the height of your monitor without any tools. So you literally just grab it and move it up or down. And whatever height you settle on, you can just let go. And it doesn't fall. There's somehow enough friction or some kind of mechanism in this thing, which to me is kind of magic. So same thing for tilting the screen. You can just turn it upwards or downwards to whatever viewing angle you want, and it will stay in place. Again, you don't have to use any tools, you don't have to press any fancy buttons or whatever. It's all really quite convenient. For the monitor hood, you get 7 panels like these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And because I'm using my monitor in landscape, I'll only be using these 5. So these 2 are actually to lengthen the hood to fit the monitor in portrait mode, but we're not going to need that. So to assemble the hood, we'll have to do this step by step. Before I even put this on the monitor, what I did was take these 2 pieces. So these 2 will form the side of the monitor. So if you take this piece, the one with the BenQ words on it, and you take a look at the top, you actually see some holes and ridges for connecting the other part with. So the other part, you're just going to want to take the side with the right angle, and you just push it in here, anywhere will do. And all you have to do to connect it is slide it in. So I'm just pushing it, and you'll hear a click sound like that. And that forms one side of the monitor hood. Here's a close-up view of how to connect the two pieces together. So you can see the ridge on this one, and this is the part you're supposed to connect it with. So I'm just going to push it into the ridge like that, and you can see there's a bit of leeway at the top here. So what I'll do is just slide it and push it down. So let's do that, and once that's secure, you have your half of the monitor hood. On the sides and top of the monitor itself, you can find a couple of holes like these. And if you take a look on the inside of the hood that we've assembled, you're going to see there's points like this one and this one. So these are actually meant to go into the holes to mount the hood onto the monitor. And once you put one side of the hood on, it should look a little something like this. Do the same for the other side and your monitor will look like this. But notice how there's a gap at the top, and that's where the fifth piece comes in. So for the fifth piece, which is this one, is actually the easiest to put on. So at the bottom here, you'll notice there's a hook like this. It's actually to secure it on this platform here. So I'm just going to come from the front, make sure the hook is put on, and then everything just clicks into place at the back. Okay, let's talk accessories. The monitor comes with these cables. Here we have a HDMI. This is a MDP to DP cable, a USB, USB-C. This is the power plug for the monitor. And here we have a hotkey puck that helps streamline the whole usage of this monitor, but more on that later. With the power and Type-C cables connected, this monitor is all ready to use. So I've been using this for a while now, working on both commercial and personal projects. Again, I won't be going into the extremely technical aspects, but rather talking more about how this has integrated into and improved my overall workflow. Of course, a huge plus is the screen itself. At 27 inches, I really get to see the smaller details of the content I'm editing to greater accuracy. Just by looking over an image from left to right, I can easily spot mistakes like color fringing or dust spots, things that I normally have to zoom into and carefully scrutinize on my own usual laptop. This saves me a lot of time and greatly increases my efficiency, as well as eliminates much of the strain on my eyes from squinting at a smaller screen. And if you're looking for a larger model with the same functions and features, BenQ also has the SW271C with a screen size of 32 inches. The shading hoods are actually a really nice touch, shielding my screen from external light sources, be it the harsh afternoon light coming from my window during the day, or a table lamp at night. This prevents the color on the monitor screen from being affected, and when it's color accuracy we're talking about, even the smallest factors make a difference. I also noticed that the screen surface has a matte coating, which by itself provides some glare protection and diffusion. So if you're someone who prefers to work without the shading hood, maybe to save space for a more compact setup, you're still covered on this end. And I feel that with this, BenQ really thought through the whole user experience here and paid attention to even the little details like this. One scenario where I really noticed a big difference in my workflow is video editing. On video editing software, whether you're using Premiere, Final Cut or Resolve, there usually are many small panels that are stuffed into a single screen. On my laptop, at times I have to manually adjust the size of certain windows to get a better look at things. The 27-inch screen completely solves that problem. Rather than feeling like I'm editing on an overcrowded screen, I feel as if I'm looking at a huge control panel, with the function of every little button made clear and obvious to me. Even the main video panel, which takes up a small fraction of screen real estate, is now large enough that I can scrub through footage or view my edits or view my color grades without needing to squint or move closer to my screen. This monitor has really improved my video editing experience to the point where it's something I really look forward to doing now. Another game changer when it comes to video editing is viewing my final cuts of a film. It's common practice for me to fully render and export the footage for viewing once I'm done with the edit. This is a crucial part of my workflow where I judge and assess everything about a clip, from the way it flows with the music, to compositions of my shots, and very importantly, spotting mistakes I have made, whether it's the cut or the color grade or even a speck of dirt that I have to remove. The large screen makes this such an easy process. Previously I had to do a few viewings to get enough self-feedback on what to change, but with the BenQ monitor, just 1 or 2 times is all I need to notice everything. The screen also makes it seem like I'm watching a movie and I can just lay back on my chair and watch my videos from the perspective of a casual viewer. For photo editing, the 2 main softwares I use are Adobe Lightroom and Photoshop. Being designed specially for photographers, this is where I expected the monitor to truly shine. BenQ's AQ color technology, designed for accurate reproduction of color grading, natural color transitions, and subtle hues, really impressed me here. The raw images on my screen looked just as it did as when I was capturing the photo in person. The pinpoint accuracy to even the most discrete of colors was really impressive to me. And to top it all off, the monitor has excellent screen white brightness and color uniformity. Similarly to video, the large screen helps me spot mistakes and changes that I need to make way more easily, especially so when I'm doing retouching in Photoshop. If I have to remove something from a photo, say a single person or a crowd, I can do it much easier and more effortlessly without having to zoom in as much as I normally would have. The bigger screen and therefore bigger scale of my photos also make selections and tools like clone stamping much more accurate and has saved me a lot of time. The Hotkey Puck G2 that we saw in the unboxing is essentially an external remote, providing additional utility. It has 3 function keys, which by default allows users to designate color modes, but these keys can be customized to create shortcuts too, which I personally did. So I'm going to break down what these buttons do by default. Essentially, pressing 1 gives you the color space of Adobe RGB, pressing 2 gives you sRGB, and pressing 3 gives you a color space of black and white. Additionally, an analog dial in the center of the hotkey puck provides a more responsive way to navigate and adjust settings, making it really easy to adjust settings like brightness or contrast. I found this extremely useful when I wanted to switch up my settings while editing, as the hotkey puck made navigating the monitor menu a really easy process. The monitor also has a Gamut Duo feature, which allows users to see their work in 2 color spaces, Adobe RGB and sRGB at the same time. This side-by-side comparison is a handy feature to have. Basically, Adobe RGB is used when you're printing your work. It standardizes the colors you view on your screen to be the same as it would appear on paper. sRGB is the color profile for any online viewing, so things like social media, online ads, and websites, essentially the bulk of my photo work. But when I do have the occasional print to do, the Gamut Duo feature again would make my life easier. Another nice touch of the SW271C is that it comes with its own out-of-the-box calibration report. Each monitor is actually manually calibrated before delivery and includes its individual report, with details like brightness, color gamut and temperature, delta E information, uniformity, and a color gamma curve clearly presented to indicate performance. BenQ's AQ color technology is also Kalman verified and Pantone validated, further assuring that BenQ's color accuracy adheres to industry standards, giving me that extra peace of mind and one less thing to worry about. The SW271C is also equipped with BenQ's Paper Color Sync technology to simulate the printing results on screen, eliminating any difference in color and contrast between on-screen images and actual prints. I'll definitely recommend this monitor for fellow photographers and filmmakers, as I feel that BenQ has really done a great job optimizing this device for creatives. You can check out BenQ's website for more details, and of course, thank you for watching.